I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail.
I guess the simple answer is no. I have definitely not always been comfortable being my authentic self. But when I heard this question and this topic generally, I was really excited to talk about it because for me, I personally have been focused on understanding and trying to live into my authentic self for a while now, and have been sharing my journey with family and friends and colleagues. I think the one realization that I've come to is that it is going to be a lifelong journey. Like, this is not something that I probably can never define my authentic self in my lifetime, but I've definitely learned a lot along the way. And for me, it's been this association of creating a bit of awareness and some space between those feelings of self-doubt and those stories that I associate with them. So I those there is this little voice in your head, and I consider this little voice an imposter, and it's telling me things that I'm not good enough, or people are judging me, and I know that that voice is an imposter, and it keeps me from my authentic self. And so that space and awareness has enabled me to really be more vulnerable and push myself out of my comfort zone more often, to really live into who I am. And the benefit of that, and a recognition of when I'm out of my comfort zone, that really is where growth is happening. And each time I do that, I feel like it's a little easier the next time around to, one, squelch that little voice of self-doubt in my head, but two, be more vulnerable and really be willing to be myself. And for me, looking back on my younger self, this is something that I really wish I would have known before. I I was trying to think of a story, and I have, my oldest daughter is 20 right now, and I was thinking back when she was 2, and for one thing, I to have to go back in time and be able to spend time with my 2-year-old daughter um, makes me want to tear up. uh, but I was remembering remembering a time when me and other moms from the neighborhood were going to the beach with our kids. And the thing I remember most about that moment in time is that my biggest concern about the day was that I was going to have to be in a swimsuit in front of other moms. And um, it sounds so petty now, but I traded off a lot of life because of that self doubt in my head. So rather than making the most of that day, and it was fun and we had a good time, but I really let that hold me back from being my best self and being totally present in my life and enjoying it to a greater degree. So, that's just one example for me that I thought other moms could relate to too, and of self doubt that holds you back from being your best self and living your best life.
I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try.
There was definitely times in my life that I have felt that I've been inauthentic, a lot of them. One was during my career. I work for a women's health company, Hologic, and we make products that help people and save people's lives. So there's great purpose behind what we do, and the connectedness and intrinsic motivation that comes from the purpose of our jobs is really important to me, and it drives me forward, and it motivates me to show up in the way that I want to show up. And there was a point in time in my career where I I didn't have that. So I was having a hard time being motivated. I didn't feel connected to a real purpose, and I just did not like how I was showing up. I couldn't be who I wanted to be in my career, because in introspection I wasn't connected to a purpose. And so um, I I do believe we have this like finite amount of time in our life, right? We do. And you have choices in terms of how you spend that time. And so do I regret it? I mean, I regret trading off any time that isn't making the most of it and being in your best life. I ultimately switched into a role that had me way more connected to um, what my purpose is, and really back into loving my job and being motivated. And so I mean, to me, it just made a clear connection that in my career, I need to have purpose and I need to be connected to something that I feel is bigger than myself and really driving towards making a difference. And so I wouldn't make that mistake again. I would definitely continue to search for a career that gives me that so that I can be my best self.
me stay.